My name is Marie Inns. I will soon be 88 years old. And throughout my long life, I've seen so many times when the Lord stepped in to help me and He let me know it. These encounters with God are extremely precious to me. So let me begin at the beginning. It was in 1934, and my mama and papa had recently immigrated from the Ukraine, from Russia, along with many other Mennonites who came at that time. And they came to Roster in Saskatchewan, and they lived in a small little house. By 1934, they had 6 children, and it was during the Depression, so they were very, very poor. Papa would work as a carpenter, and Mama stayed home and looked after the family. And she said she used to make a big pot of pork and beans, because beans were cheap. And at that time, she could buy a little piece of pork for about 10 cents. And Daddy would get the pork because he needed strength to work, and the kids would get the beans. Well, in 1934, she discovered that she was pregnant again with the 7th child. I don't know, she never let me know that she was unhappy about that. But I think it must have been hard for her to realize, oh, now, one more baby to care for, it will be so hard. But Mama really loved Jesus very much, and so did my papa. And so at that time, when she was just pregnant, she sat beside her bed. I used to see her sitting there in the evening, and I would know that she was praying. And that night she prayed, she said, Lord, I want to give this child to you. May this child be in the ministry. I want this child to serve you. How precious is that? I think maybe she cried when she prayed that prayer. But she gave me to Jesus when I was just a tiny little fetus, and that has meant so much to me. But you know, she never told me. As I was growing up, she never said, Mimi, when you grow up, you have to serve God. She never said anything. But she was a good Christian, and she taught me to pray. And to this day, I remember the German prayer she taught me as a little girl. And so my life went on, and I went to school. I was greatly loved by my 6 siblings and Mama and Papa. Interesting, I always had a desire when I was a little girl to love God. Well, time went on, and I went to Bible school, and went to Canadian Bible College in Regina. It was the Christian Missionary Alliance School. The day came when I said to my mama, Mom, when I finish Bible school, I want to be a missionary. I want to go serve the Lord overseas. And that's when she told me. That's when she said, well, you know, Mimi, I gave you to God before you were born so that you would serve Him. And how wonderful that was. I had met my husband Norman at Bible College, and he was as committed as me. We were going to go overseas. They told us, the mission told us we could go to Cambodia. At that time, we didn't even know where Cambodia was. We looked it up in books, and we read about it, and we were excited to be coming to Cambodia. But Cambodia was as far away as it could be. It was on the other side of the world. So that when God took my mom up on that promise that she had made, He took me very far away from her. And when the day came that we said goodbye at the train station, we said goodbye, and she just clung to me, because in those days it was goodbye for 4 years. We didn't just go for 6 months or for 2 years. 4 years as a missionary term, and we knew we would not be back for 4 years. By that time, she had 2 little grandchildren that she was also saying goodbye to. And so she hugged me so tight and just cried. I finally had to say, Mama, let me go. And I got on the train, and then later on we got on a ship, and we came to Cambodia. We were 7 weeks on the way. And I remember always that my mama gave me to the Lord before I was even born, that it's meant so much to me. It was hard for her, but for me, it entered me into a life of so many wonderful encounters with God. And I can't wait to get to heaven, because then I'm going to see her, and I'm going to say to her one more time, Mama, thank you. Because of you, I had such a wonderful life.